When I think about Lucifer, it's Gino. I close my eyes and I see him. You know what? Him. I'm gonna him over, you know?
I will eventually say that's enough, and I will move on with my life.
I love you.
Damn, Mom.
I have a meeting with my lawyer because the first hearing with Gino and the divorce is set up already. I don't know what Gino is planning. I don't know what he's gonna ask for. And it's honestly such a nightmare. I cannot wait for it to be over. The time that we were married, everything that was gotten should be divided equally. He is where he is and he has what he has because of me, and that money was multiplying like crazy. Is it the truth? I don't know. I want to see where the money is coming from. I wouldn't be even, thinking about getting anything from him. But because of the bitch he was to me, now I'm going to be twice as much. He accused me of committing immigration fraud. He reported me to immigration 3 times. And he has spread multiple lies about me.
Jasmine walked into this divorce believing she had finally found Gino's weak spot. Not his reputation. Not his new relationship. Not even the immigration accusations. His money. She did not want a quiet agreement where both sides signed the papers, kept their own property, and disappeared from each other's lives. She wanted Gino's financial records. She wanted to know what he earned, what he invested, what he owned, and whether he had been hiding anything from her. And Jasmine did not even pretend this was only about fairness. She openly connected the money to revenge. In her mind, Gino had embarrassed her, rejected her, reported her to immigration, questioned the entire marriage, and tried to make her look like a fraud. So taking money from him was not just a legal win. It was supposed to be emotional payback. She wanted him to feel powerless. For one brief moment, Jasmine believed that plan was working. Her side was allowed to keep pushing for financial disclosure. Gino could be forced to show more of his records. Jasmine celebrated like the biggest part of the fight was already over. But the real ending was completely different. Instead of walking away with a large payment from Gino, Jasmine reportedly agreed to pay him $20,000 in spousal support. That comes out to $500 every month for 40 months. And that is where the story becomes bigger than a simple divorce update. How does someone enter a financial battle expecting to take money from an ex, only to become the person paying them? Was Jasmine so focused on revenge that she stopped thinking clearly? Did Gino have far less money than she believed? Did Jasmine's own income put her in a stronger financial position than viewers realized? Or is the viral "Jasmine lost everything" version leaving out an important part of the settlement, including the fact that she reportedly kept property in Florida while Gino kept his Michigan property and vehicle? That matters, because this story is not as simple as Jasmine got greedy and a judge punished her. There is no confirmed public evidence that the court created this result because Jasmine wanted revenge. We do not know the full reasoning behind every term. We also do not know the complete value, debt, or equity connected to the properties each person kept. But we do know one thing. The final agreement created the exact reversal Jasmine expected least. She said money was not important to her, but then said money was the best way to hurt Gino. She said she wanted the nightmare to end, but then said she was willing to fight for years. She said this was about fairness, while also saying Gino needed to suffer. That contradiction is why viewers cannot stop talking about this. Most people are not reacting because they suddenly believe Gino was a wonderful husband. Longtime viewers know better than that. They are reacting to the irony. Jasmine promised to hit Gino in the wallet. Then the settlement hit hers. But this did not begin in a courtroom. Money had been the emotional language of their relationship for years. And once you look at that history, it becomes clear that this divorce was never only about assets. It was the final round of a power struggle neither one of them knew how to end. When Jasmine met with her attorney, the legal issue sounded simple on the surface. Gino reportedly wanted an agreement where he kept his property, Jasmine kept hers, and both sides walked away. For Matt, that probably sounded like the best possible outcome. The marriage was already dead. Jasmine had built a new life. She had a child with another man. Continuing the fight meant more hearings, more attorney fees, more stress, and more time with Gino still hanging over their home. But Jasmine did not trust the offer. She believed anything earned or acquired during the marriage should be examined. She also believed Gino's hesitation to provide financial information meant there could be something worth hiding. And honestly, asking for disclosure was not automatically unreasonable. A person should understand the financial picture before agreeing to a divorce settlement. Accepting a deal without knowing what exists can be risky. The problem was not that Jasmine asked questions. The problem was what she expected those answers to do for her. Because money had never been neutral between Jasmine and Gino. From the beginning, they argued about rent, travel, cosmetic procedures, wedding expenses, immigration costs, gifts, clothes, savings, and who was using whom. Gino often presented himself as the responsible one, the saver, the person constantly being pressured to spend. Jasmine presented him as someone who used money to control the relationship, then acted shocked when she reacted emotionally. Every financial argument became a test of love. When Gino paid for something, he sometimes treated it like evidence that he was committed. When Jasmine asked for something and he refused, she often treated that refusal like evidence that she was not important to him. So by the time they reached divorce court, a bank statement was not just a bank statement. To Jasmine, it was proof. Proof that Gino had not fooled her. Proof that he could not hide behind silence. Proof that she had contributed something valuable. Proof that he could not end the marriage, keep everything, and then tell the world she was the one who used him. That may be the deeper motivation people are missing. Jasmine may not have been chasing only money. She may have been chasing acknowledgement. For years, she believed Gino dismissed her emotions. She believed he controlled the practical parts of the relationship while she carried the emotional weight. She believed he made her feel dependent, then used that dependence against her. So forcing him to reveal his finances may have felt like forcing him to finally answer to her. But here's the problem. A court can divide property. A lawyer can request records. A settlement can decide who pays whom. None of those things can force an ex-partner to admit they hurt you. And that is where Jasmine's legal strategy started blending with something much more emotional. She was not only asking, "What am I entitled to?" She was also asking, "How do I make Gino feel what I felt?" Those are completely different goals. A legal strategy should be based on facts, risk, cost, and likely outcomes. A revenge strategy is based on anger, pride, and the fear that compromise means losing. Jasmine blurred those two things again and again. She said that if Gino had treated her better, she might not have cared about going after his money. That statement said everything. The financial fight was not only about what belonged to her. It was connected to how much she believed he deserved to be punished. And once punishment becomes the goal, a reasonable compromise can start to feel like surrender. Walking away may have given Jasmine peace, but it would not have given her the feeling of victory. That is why Gino's proposal may have been emotionally impossible for her to accept, even if it could have ended everything faster. Jasmine did not only want the divorce finished. She wanted the ending to prove she had won. And that is where Matt's warning became so important. The most revealing conversation was not between Jasmine and her attorney. It was between Jasmine and Matt. Matt was not impressed by the possibility that Gino might have hidden money. He was not excited about another round in court. He did not care about teaching Gino a lesson. He wanted Gino gone. Not defeated. Gone. That difference matters. Matt's version of closure was simple. Finalize the divorce, stop talking about Gino, protect their family, and move forward. Jasmine's version of closure was very different. She wanted consequences. She wanted Gino to feel that he could not treat her badly and then walk away untouched. So when she told Matt she was willing to keep fighting, possibly for years, he immediately understood what that meant. More legal bills, more arguments, more court dates, more emotional energy spent on Gino. More nights where their relationship became about her ex-husband. Matt's frustration was not only jealousy. He was watching Jasmine build her present life around a battle with her past. That is a serious warning sign in any relationship. Jasmine already had a new partner. She had a daughter with him. She was trying to build a home and a future. Yet Gino still received the strongest emotional reaction. Jasmine did not sound neutral when she talked about him. She sounded focused, angry, determined. Activated. She wanted him to lose. She wanted him to suffer. She wanted him to admit that he had done something wrong. That does not necessarily mean she wanted him back. This is where the idea of negative attachment becomes important. A person can hate an ex and still be emotionally attached to them. They do not have to miss the relationship. They do not have to want romance again. The attachment survives because the ex still controls their mood, attention, decisions, and sense of justice. If Gino could still make Jasmine furious, still influence her financial choices, still create tension in her home, and still determine whether she felt victorious, then he still had emotional power. Matt appeared to understand that. even if he did not explain it perfectly. He was not only asking, "Do you still love Gino?" He was asking something harder. Why does fighting with him still matter more than creating peace with me? That has to hurt. Matt is the one living with the consequences of the old marriage. He is helping raise their daughter. He is listening to the court updates. He is dealing with family tension. He is watching Jasmine continue using Gino's last name partly because she believes it bothers him. From Matt's point of view, Gino may no longer be physically present, but he is still living inside their relationship. At the same time, Matt is not completely innocent. He knew Jasmine was still married when he became involved with her. He entered an arrangement that was already unstable. He became the father of her child before the divorce was complete. So when Jasmine reminded him that he knew she was married, she was not completely wrong. Matt accepted the complicated situation when the relationship felt exciting and hopeful. Now that the consequences are exhausting, he wants everything cleaned up immediately. That is his contradiction. But Jasmine's response to his pain was still cold. Instead of saying, "I understand why this hurts you," she basically said, "You knew what you signed up for." That phrase is emotionally dangerous. When someone says, "This is hurting me," telling them they accepted the risk does not solve the problem. It shuts the conversation down. It tells them their feelings no longer count because they made a complicated choice in the past. Matt may have accepted the risk of dating a married woman. That does not mean he agreed to spend years living in a three-person emotional relationship with Jasmine and Gino. And Jasmine may have had every right to protect her legal interests. That does not mean Matt had to pretend her revenge language was harmless. Both things can be true. Matt helped create the situation. And Jasmine was still allowing her anger toward Gino to damage the relationship she claimed mattered most. The biggest question was no longer whether Jasmine would get money. It was how much this fight would cost her before it ended. Now, none of this turns Gino into the innocent victim. That would erase years of behavior that helped destroy the marriage. Gino regularly responded to Jasmine's emotional intensity by shutting down, withdrawing, or becoming defensive. Sometimes that may have been self-protection. But over time, his silence became gasoline. Jasmine would feel ignored or humiliated. She would become louder and more emotional. Gino would retreat even further. Jasmine would take that withdrawal as proof that he did not care. Then the argument would explode. Both of them used the other person's behavior to justify their own. Gino said Jasmine was too explosive to communicate with. Jasmine said she only exploded because Gino refused to communicate. That cycle followed them through every stage of the relationship.
Panama,
The visa process,
the move to the United States,
the open marriage disaster, and finally, the divorce. Gino also helped turn money into a weapon. He publicly discussed what he believed he had spent on the relationship, including travel, support, immigration expenses, and the wedding. Those numbers became part of his argument that he sacrificed financially and received betrayal in return. But when someone constantly reminds a partner how much they cost, money stops feeling like generosity. It starts feeling like a bill. Jasmine's immigration dependence also created a major imbalance. Gino was the American sponsor. He had the established home. He had the financial history. He understood the system better than she did. Jasmine entered the country with less independence and more uncertainty. That does not excuse every choice she made, but it helps explain why she reacted so strongly whenever she believed Gino was controlling information, money, or her future. Then came the immigration accusations. Gino questioned whether Jasmine had entered the marriage honestly. Jasmine believed he was trying to threaten her ability to remain in the United States and destroy her reputation. That is much more serious than a normal breakup argument. At that point, they were not only fighting over love, they were fighting over identity. Gino wanted the public story to show that he had been used financially and emotionally. Jasmine wanted the public story to show that she had been controlled, neglected, and threatened. Both believed the other person was rewriting history. That is why every legal development became emotionally loaded. If Jasmine received money, Gino could point to it as proof that she had always been financially motivated. If Gino kept his property, Jasmine could view it as proof that he escaped accountability. If Jasmine paid Gino, viewers could call it proof that her entire plan failed. But divorce agreements do not always deliver a clean moral judgment. The reported settlement does not prove a judge believed Jasmine was greedy. It does not prove Gino was innocent. It does not prove Jasmine's revenge comments directly caused the payment. What it confirms is the financial result. Jasmine reportedly pays $500 a month for 40 months. Gino keeps his Michigan property and vehicle. Jasmine reportedly keeps property in Florida. And that last detail complicates the viral headline. Jasmine has to pay Gino $20,000 sounds like total defeat. But without knowing the value, debt, and equity connected to each property, viewers cannot confidently say who received the stronger overall deal. The reversal is still embarrassing. Jasmine clearly expected Gino to pay her, not the other way around. But embarrassment is not the same as financial ruin. And that difference is important because reality TV audiences love a simple winner and loser. This story does not give us one. It gives us two people who spent years turning pain into proof and money into a scoreboard. The reaction online has been intense because this storyline gives viewers exactly the kind of ending reality television is built for. Jasmine talked about hurting Gino financially. Then she reportedly ended up paying him. For many viewers, that is instant karma. Some fans feel Matt was the only person thinking clearly. They believe Jasmine should have accepted the clean break, ended the marriage, protected her current family, and stopped allowing Gino to control her life. Many viewers are saying the revenge became more important than the divorce itself. A section of the audience believes Jasmine was emotionally addicted to the conflict. Their argument is simple. If she truly wanted Gino completely gone, why was she willing to spend years fighting over his money? Other fans are blaming her attorney. They believe Jasmine was encouraged to keep pushing because a longer case means more legal fees and more work. But that theory needs to be treated carefully. Viewers do not know every private conversation Jasmine had with her lawyer. They do not know the full value of the assets. They do not know what offers were made in writing. They do not know what legal risks Jasmine faced. They also do not know whether the final settlement protected her from something worse. It is easy to watch one scene, see a lawyer supporting financial disclosure, and later decide the lawyer ruined everything. The truth could be much more complicated. Requesting financial records is not automatically bad advice. The real mistake may have been Jasmine's belief that the records would definitely reveal something that benefited her. She appeared convinced that Gino had major hidden investment income. She believed his reluctance to disclose information meant there had to be something valuable behind the curtain. But suspicion is not evidence. It is possible Gino had less money than Jasmine expected. It is also possible Jasmine's own income had grown enough to make her the stronger financial party by the time the divorce was settled. Some fans believe her online earnings may have affected the financial balance. Jasmine later suggested she could make the $20,000 quickly through her exclusive online platforms. That statement was clearly meant to show she was not devastated. But it created another contradiction. If she can earn that kind of money so easily, then the support agreement may reflect how much her financial position changed after leaving Gino. That is a reasonable possibility. It is not a confirmed explanation. Other viewers are defending Jasmine. They remember Gino's emotional distance. They remember the intimacy problems. They remember the financial control, privacy issues, and immigration accusations. Those viewers do not see the support payment as proof that Gino was right. They see it as one financial term inside a relationship where both people repeatedly hurt each other. There is also a group asking whether Jasmine truly lost it all. She reportedly kept the Florida property. Gino kept his Michigan home and vehicle. Without the full financial details, the $20,000 payment does not tell the entire story. That does not erase the irony. Jasmine expected to take money from Gino. Instead, she became the person paying him. But strong commentary has to separate what feels satisfying from what is actually proven. It is fair to say her strategy ended in an embarrassing reversal. It is not fair to say the court officially punished her for greed. It is fair to question whether revenge clouded her judgment. It is not fair to pretend Gino played no role in creating the hostility. And it is completely fair to say that both of them spent years using money as evidence of love, sacrifice, betrayal, and control. That is why this result feels less like the end of a divorce and more like the final scene of the same argument they had been repeating from the beginning. The most important lesson here is not simply, be careful what you wish for. The deeper lesson is that revenge can keep a relationship alive long after love is gone. Jasmine believed she was fighting to free herself from Gino. But every decision based on making him suffer kept him emotionally important. If your happiness depends on your ex losing, your ex still has power. If your peace depends on your ex admitting they were wrong, your ex still controls whether you feel closure.